Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. I have Peter Velardi, CEO, ReferMe IQ, on the show with me today. Peter, welcome to the show. I've been looking forward to this conversation.
Michael, it's great to be here. I have as well, and it's great to be working with you all.
Glad you are. All right, give us some background and how ReferMe IQ came to be.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So I'm on my kind of third career. So career one was in the financial advisory and wealth management business as an executive. My passion was really around leadership and helping financial advisors, in that case, build referral-based businesses. And enjoyed that ride. That was terrific. But I retired from that 10 years ago to pursue my second passion, which was startups and helping businesses build businesses and acquire capital and talent to do that. So I began a consulting company and did a lot of work playing on all sides of the M&A equation and working with businesses to help them build their business. And it was fascinating because while doing so, I was just so intrigued by how many businesses wanted to build a referral-based business, but didn't quite know how to do that or didn't do it effectively. And so that led to kind of phase three of my career, where I saw a pretty significant gap in the marketplace. We know that 83% of all consumers would refer if asked, and we all know the holy grail quality of a referral as a lead source, and yet businesses really lacked systems. Less than 12% of businesses had a system. So I explored the technology out there to see if anybody really aggressively solved this and made this easy for businesses of all type. And much to my happiness and dismay, I guess, I really didn't observe anything that was easy to use, effective, that combined a really effective referral process with technology in order to create something that somebody could literally take off the shelf and implement it and use and generate referrals from relationships. So that's how ReferMe IQ came to be. And with the help of our great clients and users, we continuously have innovated and updated it to build a platform that today is gaining a lot of interest from a lot of businesses.
You know, I'm using your platform myself, and I have to tell you that that is so streamlined, so user-friendly. It was just hard for me to believe how easy it was. And the step behind that, from my personal experience, is the support staff that you have to work with me to craft the message and then follow through on getting that message out and getting the results that I was really looking for. Actually, they came in better than what I expected. So I just want to commend you on that. Now, let me shift gears just a little bit to broaden the scope of the conversation, because I'd like for you to tell our audience the type of businesses that need to use the referral-based system and how they can go from almost an impossible task with time management and without having to really increase the staff, increase your overhead and your costs, to use this platform and really bring in additional referrals, additional revenue, and additional relationships.
And that is the key, and thank you for the question. So it begins, I'll start kind of big picture, then drill down to the platform itself a bit. But big picture, we all know that the number one growth engine of any business is continuous new client acquisition, and in particular, targeted client acquisition. I know you know that in your work that you do, and that is the ultimate challenge of a business. How do I identify who is an ideal targeted client, and how do I make sure that I continuously have systems set up to acquire them at a profit? And so that's the number one thing. And then you peel it down and say, well, what's the best type of client? That's a targeted client. And what's the best way to acquire them? And every business would agree they'd like to do it through word of mouth and referrals. And so to do that, though, some fundamental things have to happen. And we call it the 5 behaviors. It's basically 5 behaviors that need to occur for a business owner. And we work with all types of businesses. We work with a solo practitioner who may be an insurance agent or financial advisor. We work with very large enterprises with significant sales forces where they want to get the best leads and convert the best leads to lowest cost. And we work with a lot of marketing and distribution organizations that are interested in differentiating their value proposition with their users. But in all cases, it still boils down to a human being knowing, say, 300 people. They know 300 people. So there's 90,000 people that are just one introduction away. How do we get to that human, and how do we create that credible transference of trust? So the 5 behaviors to make that happen are simple, but not easy. And most businesses don't know how to do it. They first have to find a way to ask their relationships for referrals. A lot of people get stopped right there. They just don't know how to ask. It's awkward for many people on both sides. The second is that once they ask, they have to provide a reason or a motivation or an incentive for people to refer. And then third, once they do that and they get them to refer, this for most businesses is probably the hardest part, Michael, and that is how do you get them to then recommend you and transfer that trust and position you and articulate your value proposition in the way that you want to. And then if you can get all those 3 things done, you're halfway there. Then you've got to somehow get that referral forth interested in your business. And then lastly, the ideal scenario would be to create a situation where the referrals were actually requesting contact from the business, not the other way around, if you did the first 4 right. And so in essence, what we did when we built our platform is we said, can we create technology that does all 5 of those things automatically, systematically, and out of sight, out of mind for a business or a business owner or an enterprise with their businesses? And that's what we built. So ReferMe IQ, it's simply an email-based platform. And you might say, Peter, why email? And it's because email is still the #1 way that consumers want to learn about a business, about a service or a business of a company. So we use that, but as you mentioned, we do it in a much better way because it's a personal, authentic, well-messaged email that systematically goes out to all the layers of somebody's relationships, their clients, their network, their marketing they haven't converted from the past but made investments into. So our platform, as you said, we put all the complexity beneath the chassis to make it super easy for you as a user to use it and set it up. We provide a lot of support because we know with any software, it's all about using the software. And so our aim is to make sure that if you sign up, for example, that we inundate you with whatever support you need by making it super easy and adding support so you get the software set up. And once you do that, we know you push the buttons and then you go do what you do best, which is the CEO Money Show. And our system is doing all the marketing behind the background. So that's kind of the big picture of how it works. And of course, you're familiar with that. And I'm really happy to see you get terrific results out of the gate.
Well, using your system, and I've used other email platforms in the past, and they do not compare with the results. And I'm going to put my results up, for everybody to hear. We had on our first campaign, and these are people that we've known through the show. We had an 84.31% delivery rate, which is good. But what really impressed the people that I was working with, let alone myself, is over a 45% open rate. We had a 87% open rate on the referrals, and that transferred, and we're still going through the process, but what impressed me is I don't have to respond individually to the people that are coming in. They get a personal preset message that allows them to be incentivized to interact with us to the point where actually we turn it from a cold person, a cold lead, if you will, into a conversion of somebody doing business with us with your process. I just want to really recommend to everybody I do business with that they definitely need to use your system. Inside of your system, are there any key things that you can tell our audience? I want you to say it versus me. I'll be the testimonial here, but that you are doing that any other system is really not going to be able to catch you with this product.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing all that. And there's a lot in what you said that I can reinforce by answering your question. So first and foremost is that unlike all of the shotgun marketing you see out there where people put content in the marketplace and hope that people raise their hand, and then you're still challenged with how do you articulate your business proposition and turn it from a cold lead into a hot lead. The number one differentiator of our system is we create this completely actionable path so that what shows up in your inbox through a set of drivers is somebody who is actually not only requesting contact from the business, but requesting it and saying to the business, this is how I want to be contacted, text, email, etc., and when I want to be contacted. So the first big differentiator is that, unlike everything else where it's what I call the shoot and hope system, where you throw out things in the marketplace, hope people raise their hands, and hope that you've built the technology of all the hooks on your website, et cetera, to draw them back in. Our system does all of that automatically. The second thing is, going back to what you said, because the way our system is set up, the emails that go from you to your client or from your client to the referral introducing you all appear to be personal and authentic. They're not spammy. They go direct. It looks like there's an authentic reinforcement of your relationship with your contact, for example. And so they see an email from Michael and they say, well, I know Michael. I like Michael. He's a good guy. He delivers a good value proposition. I'm going to open up that email. And so, like you said, our open rates tend to be 4 times the national average, delivery rates 4 times the average, and our click-through rates are 4 times the average. So that's half the battle in the marketing world, right, is getting attention to your message. So because of the way we structured our system, it's personal and authentic, and the email templates are set up so that the messaging considers best practices in terms of all those things. So the second thing is that we had to do very well getting the message to the end user through our system. And then the third thing would be probably what I'd put first, and that is no software works, no marketing system works unless somebody actually does it and uses it. So to do that, you've got to make it easy for everybody. So as you saw from our interface and from our support, we set this up so that all the complexity is kind of beneath it, so that it's very easy for a user to set up the system and then completely automate it so it's set and forget. It requires no maintenance once you set up the systems. We also make it easy for every constituency along the way, and that would be for the relationship to refer. It's simply a less than a 20-second process to put somebody's name and email address in there and push a button. You've seen that yourself. It's very easy for the referral to also do the same. So that's the third thing. And then the last thing I would say is that we've built in all of these conversion drivers. So I'll just name 2, for example. One is we've built in a way to incorporate incentives. We know statistically that if you provide an incentive for somebody to refer, there's a much higher chance that they'll refer, whether it's a monetary incentive, such as an Amazon gift card, or perhaps a more emotional human incentive, like making a difference in somebody's life or changing the world, whatever it might be. When you give people a reason to refer, that's not your reason as a business owner, but their reason, so what's in it for them, that's a big deal. We build that into our system. Every facet of not only determining the incentive, but the delivery of the incentive is all built in. And then another one is a very, very powerful converter at the referral stage, and that's a quiz. It is amazing the power of quizzes, how people want to take a quiz. There's a whole psychology lesson on that we could share. But the quiz comes to the point that the referral receives an email from the client recommending you and your business, and they take a quiz that creates, of course, this cognitive dissonance, which is a gap between where they are and where they want to go. And the quiz is designed to create credibility on the part of the business and urgency on the part of the referral that leads them down that path of pushing a button to say, maybe I do need to talk to Michael, and maybe, and we make it super easy because the name's in there already. They just push a button. So it's all of those things kind of put together and some secrets that I won't share at this stage that make the system work as well as it works.
There's one more I want to add to it that I was experimenting with this, and that is product introduction, new product introduction that's incentivized to participate or at least test out. And that's where I'm going to go with this, because this, I just can't say enough about it with the results. I've tried several, and nothing has worked the way your platform works.
Thank you. Thank you. That's kind of you to say, and I'm with you. I've looked at so many marketing software, marketing automation, and so many of them paralyze the user because they have so many capabilities. It's so hard to figure out how to even derive the benefit out of it. So we chose to be the opposite of the rocket ship to go across the street and build something that's effective, useful, that can generate the best type of new client that a business would want, and that's a referral, because we know that referrals convert 400% greater than any other lead source. So why not build a business where you can make that easy for somebody? And then the organizational friction and cost that takes out of a business's marketing system is unbelievable. In the world that I was in before, training financial advisors and insurance agents, the world looked like going from making 1,000 cold calls a week to when you're working 100% on referrals, as I was in my business. You go to making 3 to 5 calls a week. And in fact, they're really returning calls of people who have contacted you. And so you have a lot more time to play golf, spend time with your family, whatever it might be, and or put incrementally into other business drivers. So everybody wants that, but our passion is how can we create that and continuously advance our software to do it better and better every year.
You've done a great job, Peter. Thanks for being a guest on the show, and I'm personally going to send this out to all of our people.
Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate the opportunity, and if I can help in any way in the future, please let me know.
You bet. I'll be in touch soon. Thanks, Peter.
You bet. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome. You've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and definitely give ReferMe IQ a shot, and you'll see the results that I'm experiencing, and I'm ecstatic over it. Talk to you soon.